Okay, so I'm gonna do the video on gun control. Ever since I kind of got that in my head, it's been making my head itch. So now I have to do one. And I need to kill that fan so that's not making a shit ton of noise. Anyway, I shot this video yesterday and then I realized. I found out on my phone why it's kind of a bitch whenever I try to put shit together in the video editor, whenever it's on a longer video like 20, 30 minutes, shit like that. It doesn't do good processing like 30-minute chunks, so I'm gonna have to break this down into like 5 and 10-minute segments. Sad. Gun control. That's always a fun topic. And you got about, I guess it's around 50-50 people that are saying that gun control is a good thing, gun control is a bad thing, and I feel like you would know by now that I do not believe in gun control at all. I love guns, and I think there are good reasons why people should have guns. And in this video we will be discussing those reasons. Now, the first thing people bring up, and I'm really going to try to stay on topic, because the other time the reason it was 30 minutes long is because I got off topic. Now, first thing that people, not the first thing, one of the things people say about gun control is, well, there are countries that have tons of gun control and they haven't had a mass shooting since they discovered it. I'm going to put it in, like Australia. Australia had a big shooting in like 96, something like that. Like 50 people killed, some shit like that, and they said, that's it, no more guns. And you can get a gun in Australia, but it's got to be like, it's very hard to get one. It can only be for hunting. I think they only do single shots, like muzzle loaders, stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's like their gun specs. Now, they haven't had a mass shooting since they did that. That's good. I'm very happy for Australia that they don't have people killing people left and right. But in America, there are places where we have gun control, very strict gun control, like California. The nickname for California is Commifornia because of their fucking gun control laws. It's that bad. Now, theirs are like, you cannot own a rifle with more than 10 shots. Most pistols hold around 12 or 16. And if you own a pistol, then if it has rifling in the barrel, and that's what actually makes it shoot straight, if it has rifling, then it is illegal and they classify it as like a fucking assault weapon. We'll cover assault weapons after this. So pretty much you make your guns worthless in California. Literally pretty much. And guess what we have in California? We have Compton, the Watts, Oakland. Very high concentration of gang violence. No, it's not as bad as it was in the 80s. It's not as bad. But somehow or another, and I can't imagine why, they still managed to get possession of AK-47s with 30-round magazines. Now, I don't know why that is. Maybe. I mean, it's illegal to get that. You can't buy it anywhere illegally, so I'm guessing that criminals just don't fucking care. You know, chances are they're a fucking felon already, or they have some charge that, yeah, that's pretty much what I was about to say, just saying the same thing. They're a felon, they can't own a firearm already, more than likely. Yeah, I'm not, it's just how it is. And, so they can't own a gun anyway, so they don't give a fuck. They don't. Same thing with Chicago. To my knowledge, they've put really strict guidelines, not guidelines, just fucking, not guidelines, like can't fucking do it, on guns. And these guys still get 40 caliber pistols with 30 round clips, AK-47s, and all sorts of crazy shit that they shouldn't have. And to put it on top of that, they're automatic. And you can't buy an automatic anywhere in America. That is a very special license. It is virtually impossible to get. I know, because I want one, and I can't fucking get one, and I'll never be able to get one. Unless they change the law. As is, I cannot get one. Yeah. And, New York. Another place, very, very strict. Very strict. If you own a handgun, it cannot hold more than 6 rounds. New York is a very strict place, and dudes still, they carry SKSs up there. Now, given New York has, a lot of their attacks do take place with knives now. But then again, what they're doing is they run up and stab the dude 6 to 30 times, and then they shoot him twice, and they run off. Now, I guess it's good that they don't have the ability to just spray whole 30-round clips into buildings. But the problem is still there. And they're still shooting people. And the guns are still illegal. Why? Because if you move, if your primary income is through selling dope, then you want a gun. That's common sense. Dope dealers like guns because guns gave them protection. Guns make them feel less paranoid. There's a reason the slogan for the Glock is carrying confidence. Because that's what a gun does. It makes you feel good inside. You don't feel like you're vulnerable or as vulnerable, which is why I believe in a polite society. I personally believe that an armed society is a polite society. You know, because if I have a gun, I may feel confident. But if everyone else around me has a gun, I suddenly do not feel confident because I am equal to everyone else around me. I mean, you know, if I'm gonna rob a house, I'm gonna rob the dude that doesn't have a gun. You know, even if I got one. Because once shooting starts, that robbery is fucked. You don't have time to load TVs up at that point, because cops are fucking coming if you're having a fucking gunfight at a house. That's my purple fan, in case anyone wanted to know. So like I said, some places gun control works. Like Australia, good for them, great. Fan-fucking-tastic. But then again, there's other places that really don't have gun control. Like, it's like Switzerland and Norway. It's one of those countries up there. It's a Viking country. Anyway, apparently just about everyone there owns this particular rifle. And it's like one of the starting guns from Rainbow Six Vegas. It's like, I want to say STG, but I feel like that's wrong. But that's their AR, and like everyone's fucking got one. And as we all know, those countries up there, for some reason, have no murder at all. Now, that may be just the mentality of the people to be polite. I don't know. I mean, it's a fact. Certain countries are brought up different. Now, in America was kind of brought up on guns, guts, and glory. That's just the fucking way it is. And then again, I imagine the Norwegian countries are brought up on blood eagles. So I don't fucking know. But I know that they don't kill people there. And if I had to make a guess, I mean, like, literally, their crime rates are so fucking low that they have to import prisoners from other countries. Because there's no point in running the jail with the amount of criminals that their own country has. So, gun control works in some places, not in America. And there's places where, you know, like the places I mentioned, when they put those gun control things in, what happened is crime either went up really quick for a couple months and then leveled out, or it went down and for a couple months and then it came back up and leveled out. Now, why that is, they either went, oh shit, we can't just get guns at the pawn shop anymore. And so it took them a few months, and then guess what? They found out where to get guns. It may have been more expensive, but if you're selling drugs, you can probably afford a finance like that. You can kind of make a few $1,000s in a week or a month. I mean a few thousand, I mean like 10K. Like you're good to go. You know, street handguns can run you anywhere from like 20 to 80 bucks. So imagine how cheap a fucking AK is. Yeah, not very much. Like a few hundred. I mean, even AKs from not AKs, even ARs from Walmart, they're like what, like 800,000 bucks? That's not shit when you sell dope, I would imagine. All the dope dealers I know, they have money. They have plenty of fucking money. So, and all the dope dealers you hear about, they have money. They drive nice cars. They dress nice. If they put it into saving up for like a fucking week or two, they could probably buy a couple of rifles. So, and you know, and it either goes up because they say, oh shit, everyone else is having a hard time getting guns. They're taking away certain things from them, and they go out on robbing sprees, and then certain people get caught, and it dies down after, of course, for a few months and levels back out to what it was. So, I'm guessing gun control just doesn't fucking work in America. And I'm gonna get to the next thing. Okay, the next thing. Wait, that's not gonna work. Next thing. People saying that we don't need guns anymore because the times have changed. That is true. No, it's not true. Let me rephrase that. People saying back when the Constitution was written, guns were equal. Every gun was the same as another gun. You know, you either had a fucking blunderbuss or you had a musket, or you had a flintlock pistol. And now, you can get all sorts of crazy shit. That's true. That's true. Guns, technology has advanced. It has advanced greatly. They now make firearms that shoot so fast that you, sir, cannot hear the individual rounds coming out of that barrel. You cannot hear those charges being ignited. But, and this is something that a lot of people are really surprised about, the so-called assault rifles that you hear about in the news that people use to do all these crimes. You cannot buy an assault rifle in America. Isn't that fucking crazy? Guess what? What classifies something as an assault rifle is one, the length. One. That's not really the problem though. Number two, the ability to switch between semi-automatic fire and automatic fire. Now what semi-automatic is one bullet. What automatic is a lot of bullets. You hold the trigger down and it'll lay hate downrange for days. Now, you cannot buy a gun that does that. That is illegal as fuck. That's what I said. You can't own automatics in America. I really wish I could, because I'm not going to shoot something up. I'm not going to kill a bunch of people. I just want to be able to shoot a bunch. I think that'd be fun. And people say, well, still, it's black and it's got all these attachments and stuff. Yes, but it's still not an assault rifle, sir. I mean, I would love to, if we could just invade certain countries to cool out certain problems in the world, like terrorism and shit. We could find a way around the UN and stuff like that and just go, I have AK-47s with automatic fire. That's a weapon of mass destruction. And go in there and get them. That'd be fucking great. We could solve a lot of shit by getting around certain things with the UN and the Geneva Convention and shit. I think the rules of engagement in the Geneva Convention are shit. We're not going to get on that topic. And it's not something I know a whole lot about, but it's something that I feel like I know enough about to know that I don't fucking like it. Now anyway, it's hot in my fucking room, and I have to turn the fan off when I record because it's fucking loud. So, you can't own an assault rifle here, or it's illegal. That means taking the legal guns away from people would mean that people... So if you have an illegal rifle, that means it's not registered. And you guys say, like, it's not fucking registered, which means we don't know they fucking have it until they do something with it. Now, the thing that people get pissed off about, they go, well, it's pretty easy to make a semi-automatic rifle an automatic rifle. You just got to do this and that and file the firing pin down and do all this and that. It's not that hard at all. And I'm like, you're right, it's not that hard, but it's fucking illegal. And if you're someone like me that follows the law, I'm not going to make my fucking gun illegal because I don't want to go to prison. I don't. No. No. So, taking away the rifles from people that have it registered because they could do something illegal with them is like taking computers away from people because they could hack with them. It's come the fuck on. If you have an illegal rifle, then you don't have it registered. Now, it's true that you could buy a rifle, get it registered, file the pin down, and go do a mass shooting. But not everyone's going to do that. There's like 11 million something gun owners in America. They haven't fucking done that. And you can get a fucking 22, the ones that don't look scary, they're not black and got all these special parts to them, they just look like a regular rifle. You can fuck around with them just a little bit of tinkering, slap a 30-round banana clip in it, and guess what? You've got the same fucking thing. Well, not the same thing, but you know what I mean. You can do just about as much damage if you walk into a mall or just public locations. Walmart, you can do shit like that. Easy. Easy, but people don't. You wanna know why? It's illegal. Illegal as fuck. You will go to prison. And I keep saying that because I want to get that through. People that follow the law are not going to break it. And that means taking something away from me that I'm being good with because there are people that like to sell drugs and kill people. Or terrorists that like to kill people. Extremists in any religion. You taking the gun away from me is not going to do anything but make their life easier. The bad guy's life's easier. Because if you want to rob someone, do you know what makes you robbing them easier? Is if you have a gun and they don't. Do you know what makes shooting up a public place easier? If you walk in and no one has a fucking gun. Now, I will bring up some old shootings. Because I feel like the wounds have healed a little bit. You guys remember the Batman shooting? Tragedy. Tragic. I do not remember the weapons the shooter used. But, let's imagine, just for a moment, that someone in the movie theater had a concealed carry permit and they hopped up and they returned accurate fire upon the shooter. It would have been a different scenario. Now, scenarios like that are no longer possible if you take guns away from people. Sorry, that phone acted up. Now, I'm not trying to be that guy that's like over here stroking his dick going, imagine if they had guns. I'm not trying to be that guy. But I mean, it's true, isn't it? I mean, it might not be. Maybe the guy that had the concealed carry permit was the first one to get fucking popped. It happens, but there's a chance. It increases chances. Now, I'm not saying everyone out there should go buy a gun right now. But I'm saying the people that already do it, there's no reason to make the streets less safe. Because those guys make the streets safe. The guys that conceal carry. Women that conceal carry. Any gender that they've made up in the past year that fucking concealed carries. It helps. Now, another thing that I want to get across. When I say it helps, that doesn't mean that if you're on the other side of the theater with your family, and the dude on the other side of the theater walks into one of the little picture rooms and starts fucking blowing, that does not mean you take your gun out all howdy-dee-ho posse party and run the fuck over there. That's not helping anyone. If you own a gun, your really only priority, if you carry it for protection, it should be protecting you and your family. Now, I know that's a very cold-hearted thing to fucking say, but it's true, because that ends up confusing police forces. Because if the police force shows up, they are looking for a man with a gun. And if you're walking around carrying your rootin' tooty, point and shooty, fucking trying to find the bad guy, they're probably gonna think you're the bad guy. And if you've already killed so many people and they've already entered the building, they're not there to negotiate. You're gonna die. Because you're not out shooting SWAT with your 45. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. They have body armor and ARs and fucking shotguns. It's just not gonna happen. And I wouldn't recommend that you would try to make it happen. Don't shoot it out with the police. Anyway, avoid situations where you would be forced to defend yourself from the police. And, you know, people are like, oh, well, if you have to defend yourself from the police, that's more police brutality shit. Shut the fuck up. You know, I'm not talking about that. If you didn't do anything wrong and the police are shooting at you, maybe pop a couple warning shots. They put their heads down and stop shooting and say, I'm not the fucking bad guy. I'm not doing that. That might be what I would do, trying to save my own fucking ass. But that doesn't mean I'm telling people to do it. So don't fucking start that. Anyway. Yeah. If you're in a situation like that, do not run up and play hero. If you're in the theater, good, play hero. Defend yourself. Defend the other people in the area. But do not run from one side of a mall to another to try to engage a hostile. That is not how you need to handle things. That's what gives people bad fucking names, is because at that point, you're just trying to kill somebody. You're not trying to defend yourself. That means you're one of the guys that are like sitting there like with his hand on his hip at all fucking times waiting. That's bad. Don't be that guy. I'm not that guy. The rifle that I want to buy for Christmas, I hope I never have to fucking kill anybody with that. I really fucking do. I don't want to kill anybody. You guys know I want to join the military. I don't want to fucking kill anybody. I don't want to. But I feel like all people would, you know, take necessary measures to defend themselves and their family. Now, given that I don't want to kill anybody, that doesn't mean I want to be ill-prepared unless someone's trying to kill me, and that's one of the reasons I want to own a firearm, just in case, because bad guys have guns. Or some bad guys have guns. You know? So I want to be prepared in case I have to be in a situation where I have to shoot it out with somebody. God fucking forbid. Because I don't. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't want to kill people. That's not normal. Even if they're bad guys. Now, it's different to have a little bit of hate in your heart. I can understand a Gold Star mother whose son just came home in a box. I can understand you wanting to go kill some people in other countries. That's okay. That's natural. That's vengeance. It's a normal feeling. But you shouldn't be walking around with your concealed carry all the time with your hand like this, like, oh yeah, it's gonna go down any day now. That's fucking insane. Now, don't be paranoid. Living scared isn't living. But, and I'm fucking shaking a lot because it's fucking hot in here. Like, the AC is on right now, and like, it does nothing in my room whatsoever. Anyway, off of that. Next subject. What Americans are allowed to own guns? Now, some 200 something years ago, we decided that we like guns. We want to be our own people. We don't want to belong to England. So what we did is we got all our guns together and we fought the English and we won our independence. Now, the founding fathers said, well, if sometime down the road, the children of our country might fuck up and start doing dumb shit. To have dumb people in office that want to do dumb shit. Like break certain rules that shouldn't be fucking broken. Now, abolishing slavery, that was good. Letting women vote, that was good. Letting gay people marry, that's good. But if they started saying, like, let soldiers come in your house and take your bed. Or, you can't say shit like that. You can't say that shit anymore. That's mean. That's mean against us. You can't call us assholes. You guys aren't allowed to say what you want. Or, here's a big one. This is an actual quote. The good thing about the Second Amendment is it will only be needed if they try to take it away. That's an actual quote by a founding father. Now, what does that mean? That means that the Second Amendment is here to defend against, and it's meant to defend against threats foreign and domestic. And if enough people watch this video, this is going to be a shit show. I can already tell. These comments are going to be a fucking shit show. Now, I want you guys to understand that foreign and domestic, foreign government, homegrown terrorists, things like that. Corrupt local governments too. That's a thing. That happened in Louisiana, like in 46. Some dudes came back from World War II. You know, they're enjoying their Humpty Dumpty town in Louisiana, and the mayor starts doing all this corrupt shit. He's levying taxes on people, not taxes. He's levying taxes on people that shouldn't fucking exist. I mean, you know, you gotta pay this much just to own a business in my town, like more than usual. I mean, you know, there's certain taxes that did make sense, but he was like out the ass. And just living in the town, living in certain districts, and that is tyrannical. Because he wasn't just taking the money for the town. Some of it was going in his own pocket. So, what a group of veterans decided they do is they got their guns together and they walked into the town square, they walked up in his office, and then guess what? You're not the fucking mayor anymore. And he was like, well, I am the mayor. And then they, you know, showed the guns and they said, well, no, you're fucking not. We're gonna get a new mayor. One that's not a dickhole. And I don't really know the full story. I don't know if there was a shootout or anything like that. But I know that if they didn't have guns, guess what? That mayor would have stayed in as long as he fucking could and took money from the people. And thank God he didn't. Thank God someone stopped his ass. That's good. That's America. America. Now, another thing. Let's say there's a homegrown terrorist that pops up in your rinky-dink town somewhere for some fucking reason. There's a rinky-dink town in Arkansas or Texas or something like that where there's like 3 fucking cops and 20 dudes decide they hate the fucking government and they start trying to burn shit down and loot. Now, going back on what I said earlier, a gun is meant to defend you and your family. Now, if some shit like that happens, that's where the Second Amendment comes into play for real. You call your friends that have guns, you get together and you go fight the bad guys. You form an old school posse from the West and you fight them off. Good, that's what the Second Amendment's meant for. You're a good guy. Congratulations. You've done good in the world. Now, well, actually, yes, I am encouraging people. If there's a fucking terrorist attack in your fucking town, and you and your friends get together and try to stop it, and the police are fucking overrun, call the police force, call the dispatch, and say, we're gonna be riding around in this fucking car, and we're going to help, okay? Okay. I guarantee if they're really worried about fucking dying, they're not going to tell you to stay inside. I mean, they might, and they say, you guys need fucking help, so we're on our way, don't fucking shoot us. Like, BB only has like 11 fucking cops. If 40 people decided they were really pissed and started burning shit down and robbing and killing, those 11 cops probably aren't good. Now, given that we have support closer to other towns that could come and help, but that's just an example. If you needed immediate fucking fire support, it would be good for, people to exercise their rights and come assist the local police. That's why we have some militias in certain places that don't want to burn shit down like the guys I just said. They just want to go help. They're ready for something like that to happen because they know there's other crazy militias. So, like, if any dumbasses try to do shit like that, hey, local police, we're going to come help you guys, alright? And the local police are like, we appreciate it, but we can't, kind of do this and that. But that's what these guys want to do. So, good, they're exercising their rights. It is Americans' rights to own a firearms for those reasons, to fight off Chinese government and terrorists. And I say Chinese as a joke. It's a joke. We'll do a quick recap and my personal reasons why I want to own a firearm, not why I think I should own a firearm. Now, number one reason I think I should own a firearm: self-preservation. Like I said, I don't live in the greatest place. I live in some apartments. And given I live in a rinky-dink town, there's still dope heads here. And there's still people that want to be gangsters. And they carry guns. Some kids I went to school with, well, they dropped out, but still, some kids that I used to go to school with, they beat up an old man and they robbed him and put a fucking gun in their mouth. And they're like 17 and 18, don't know where they fucking got a handgun. That's illegal. You have to be 21 to buy one of those. But they did. And they got in trouble for it. A lot of trouble. Now, I want to own a rifle, one that I would keep inside, but still, let's say that they rob people. They brag about breaking into houses and robbing people, and it turns out they're not fucking lying. Now, given it's normally other dope heads, people they sell drugs to. Well, these guys aren't on dope, but not that I'm aware of at least, but still. Let's say they decided to break into my house, because like I said, I live in a rinky-dink little apartment with other rinky-dink apartments around me. And right next door, my neighbor's chewed the fuck up on meth. He ain't got no fucking teeth left. Let's say they kicked the wrong door in trying to rob him and beat his ass, and they kick in my door. I'm not gonna try to explain shit. They're not saying I'm just gonna walk down and just start blowing. I'm gonna tell them they need to leave. And if they, with my rifle in hand, because there's 3 or 4 of them, and I feel comfortable in my hand-to-hand combat skills, I'm not Bruce Lee or anything. I'm definitely not Bruce Lee up against 3 dudes. But if it was one, maybe a little different story. Still probably bring the gun, because I don't know if he's got a knife or if he has a gun. And, to be frank, the fucking sword isn't gonna cut it if he's got a gun. If he's got a knife, maybe. I mean, this is a fairly long fucking sword. But if he's got a gun, this ain't gonna fucking help me. That's mostly for decoration. I live in an apartment, so I don't need to chop wood. I have it because it's fucking cool. It's a gladius. It's what the fucking Romans carried. It's cool. Same thing with my tomahawk. I'm not really gonna run downstairs and throw a fucking tomahawk at somebody. Do I look fucking dumb? Fuck no. I want a gun. That way I can stand across the room and accurately be able to say, get the fuck out of my house. Or lay the fuck down and zip time and wait for the police to come handle it. That's why I want to own a gun. Now, when I'm 21 and I can conceal carry, that's why I'm going to own a handgun. Because let's say I gotta go to some shittier parts of Arkansas, like I don't remember Jonesboro shitty, Jacksonville, Little Rock, places like that, and someone tells me to get the fuck out of the car, I can defend myself. Because I don't want to get my car stolen. I don't want to get all my money taken out of my pocket or my shoes taken off my feet. I want to defend myself. That's just me, though. I don't know what you guys want to do. If you guys want to avoid violence, that's good for you, but I refuse to be a fucking victim. Well, I will try against it the best I fucking can. Anyway. Now, again, on self-preservation, let's say for some fucking reason we got a home front situation and Korea, which is fucking impossible, has invaded the United States. And they're telling everyone they're Korean citizens now. And they come into my house and try to take my gun and do all this and that, take food and say, this is your rations, some rice and this and that. Guess what? I don't want to be a Korean citizen. So guess what I'm going to do with the gun? I'm going to shoot it out with Korean military. Because I'm not doing that shit. I don't want to be Korean. That's just how it is. I don't want to be anything. I want to be fucking American. I don't want to be British. I don't want to be Russian. I don't want to be Korean. I don't want to be Chinese. And I don't want to be from the Middle East. Or I don't want to belong to a Middle Eastern country. I don't want to be an Iraqi. I don't know what, an Afghanistan citizen. I don't want to do that. I want to be American. I'm not going to let anyone tell me I belong to another country now. Because I'm American. I'm American in here. I'm American in here. And if they try to come, I'm going to be American in here. That's how it is. Number 2. I can use my gun to hunt. That's probably all I'll use it for. Yeah. It's probably one of the 2 times that I'm going to be using it. It's probably going to be because I'm trying to kill an animal and eat it. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Now, 2 or 3, depending on how you want to look at it. In case you count home defense and defense of my country as 2 different things, I'm just going to put them as 2. So whatever number I'm on. I want a gun because guns are fun to look at. That's probably really what I'm going to do with my gun all the fucking time. If I get a chance to shoot it, since I live in an apartment, I'm not going to be able to shoot it all the time. If I go out to one of my friends' houses in the country, like Walker or something like that, if he's cool with me bringing it out there and his parents are cool for it, or somewhere else, like Felty's, one of my other friends, I'll shoot it there. But chances are I'm probably going to take it apart, put it back together, and look at it all day. That's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm just going to look at it. So, personal enjoyment. That's my other reason. So that's either 3 or 4 reasons, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, am I going to go shoot somewhere place up? No. Am I going to file the firing pin down? No. I'm not going to do illegal shit. I'm not going to break the law. I'm not going to pull guns on people for no reason. Responsible gun owner. I'm buying the gun safe first. And it's going to stay in the gun safe unless I'm looking at it or fucking with it. It's going to stay unloaded. The clip will stay out of the... Forgot what it's called. Fuck, now I feel dumb. You know, I'm going to be responsible to my best thing. I mean, people are like, well, how are you going to keep it safe if it's in the safe? Well, I'm keeping it in the safe so other people in the house don't come play with it, because that's when you get dangerous. Because not to say that I don't trust certain members of my family, but let's just say they were fucking around and they fuck up. And let's just say I have a family member that's a felon, which I do, and they come over and they stay the night quite frequently. Apparently, I looked it up just so they wouldn't get in trouble and I wouldn't get my gun taken away. Apparently, if I have a safe, it stays locked and they do not have access to that weapon inside of that safe, then they don't have access for it and they're not breaking the law. So that's why I'm really keeping the safe. If it really wasn't for that, I'd probably keep it unloaded, leaned up against the corner. Right there. There. That's probably where it would stay. But I gotta have a gun safe. Now, when I get my own house and I don't have a felon coming in and out every now and again, that's probably where it's going to stay until I have a kid. Because if I have a kid, the rifle's going back in there. Or, you know, and by that point, I fucking hope by that point I'd be 21 and I could own a handgun. Now, chances are the handgun's probably going to stay on the dresser, unloaded. The handgun will stay unloaded on top of the dresser. I mean, I'm hoping I'm going to be the same as I kind of was as a kid. Kids don't come in the master bedroom. That's just me. I'm trying not to, because that's probably where I'm going to be keeping my gun. So it's easier to not keep them in there unless I'm in there with them. Or I directly tell them, let's say I get fucking glasses or some shit. Go get my glasses off my bedstand, please. You know, that shit. You know, gun on the table, bottom drawer, loaded magazine. That's probably where I'm going to keep it. You know, just because I want to have readily available self-defense. Now, the safe I'm getting, it's going to be a key safe, just so I can access it quickly. You know, just kind of like, oh, shit, grab the key, unlock it, pull it out, and slap a loaded magazine in it. I said I was going to keep the gun unloaded, not the magazines. Magazines stay loaded. Well, one of them does. I'm not going to keep like 40 loaded up or anything. I'm probably only going to have like maybe 2 or 3. But still, you know... a lot of the problems with guns and the violence thing is people just unsafe. You know, every fucking day a kid walks into his parents' room and he grabs their gun and he's playing with it thinking it's a toy and he shoots himself or he shoots one of his kids. That really fucking sadly just happened just a few weeks ago in my town, just like a couple miles down the road. The parents left. They left a couple of older children, like 14, in charge of watching a 18-year-old kid. He went in the dad's room and he found his gun and he shot himself. And it's fucking tragic. The kid didn't make it. That's really fucking sad. And I don't want to criticize that parent, but that's just, people need to be safe with guns, and we won't have this much of a problem. There won't be accidental discharges that kill people. than kill a neighbor. Because unlike what Call of Duty will have you believe, if I accidentally shoot a 9mm off of my fucking house, guess what it's doing? It will go through that wall, go through the next wall, and it might kill someone. It might kill someone else. And guess what? That's manslaughter. My mom said she knew a guy that she went to high school with, and he got high one day, and he was playing with a gun with his friends downstairs, and they were high as shit. They were smoking the devil's lettuce. And he fucked around on accident, and he shot a gun through the ceiling, and it went up through the ceiling, up through 3 mattresses, and hit his son, and it killed him. And he went to jail. He went to jail for manslaughter and reckless endangerment, and a couple of other things. I actually don't think he was allowed to own a gun. I think that was one of the things. Yeah, chances are if you own a gun, you're probably not super safe with it. I mean, not if you own a gun. If you illegally own a gun, you're probably not the kind of person that needs to own a gun for one reason, because you probably don't know how to handle that gun and respect it. Now, I'm sure there's crackpots out there in the woods that are felons, and they just want to get away, and they own a gun, and they're respectful with it. They keep it in the house. They just kill animals and eat them. I'm sure there are those guys. And for the most part, it's retarded gangbangers. And it's really sad, because that cost him his fucking kid. That cost a little kid his fucking life. The kid was like 7 or 9. That's fucking horrible. So my little PSA message is, if you own a gun, be safe as you possibly fucking can. If you think it's overboard, it's fucking not. Do it. And if anyone from school saw that, they'd probably be like, oh, that's fucking lame, and fucking redneck shit. But if you have kids in the house, you don't need to have a loaded gun readily available where a child can reach it. That's not a good fucking idea. It's just not. And I don't care, well, my kid's gonna be smart. I'm gonna raise him around kids since he's fucking right out the womb. Raise him around guns. Yeah, that might fucking be. But even when I was 13, I wasn't safe with guns. I still walked around with them stupid. I wasn't paying attention, and I'd had my gun on my hip, and I'd look off at somewhere else, and I'd kind of let it down a little bit, and just holding it, and I would hold it at someone's leg, not even paying attention. And my uncle would slap the piss out of me and say, look where you just had your fucking gun, and I had it like pretty much resting on his thigh and didn't notice. That's not good. And that's partially because I wasn't raised around guns my whole life. I like guns, but I live with my mother and my grandparents, and they're not a big fan of guns. They don't see a reason to have one. If I lived around my dad my whole life, oh, I'd be really fucking sad inside. But other than that, because me and him argue a lot, but other than that, I'd probably know a lot about guns, and I would have been used to it. But when I was 13, I'd still only held a firearm a handful of fucking times. Now, what that had caused me is to not really know a whole lot, and I still haven't held a firearm a whole lot. I just read a bunch of books on how to be safe before I got one. I read all the articles. To be honest, I've probably handled a firearm probably 30 times in my entire existence as a human being, maybe less. But I like guns. I like all the reasons you would have guns, and I'm not going to be stupid with it. Now, is that going to say that I'm going to know how to take my rifle apart and do all this stuff right out the box? No, probably going to watch a YouTube video on it. But, am I going to leave it unloaded? Am I going to leave it loaded, leaning up in my cabinet when I have a 3-year-old running around the house, or leaning against the wall? Nope. No, I'm not. That's a bad fucking idea. And I don't want to bash on anyone's parenting, but maybe just put it on top of something high, at least. Jesus Christ, man. No. A 2-foot little fucking thing isn't gonna keep the kid from doing it. You can tell your kids, stay out of the master bedroom, this and that. Kids don't listen. I still went in the master bedroom. I mean, they didn't have a gun laying around like that, but at least hopefully I'm hoping if I can put them in different locations. And I would like to buy one of those little dressers where it's kind of like pop outside and there's like a gun there. I kind of want it like that, because I see those on Facebooks all the time. You like pop out the back of your bed frame, there's a fucking shotgun. That'd be badass. Something you could get to quick that the kid might not know is there. That's what I intend to do. Anyway, this video is about as long as I want it to be. If anyone feels like I missed anything, please share it in the comments. If you want to argue, please share it in the comments. I'm more than happy to argue with you to give you something to do. If you agree with me, let me know. If you enjoy hearing me talk about random shit and rant, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and as always, this is The Lit Show, so stay lit, ladies and gentlemen.